Hey, it's Soul, and this is Warcraft Weekly, fully in panic mode. You can help support the channel by liking this video, subscribing for more WoW coverage, and catching me where I'm live. We're gonna try and rapid fire through this thing because there's a lot for me to prepare for over the next coming forever, so listen up. It's time to say goodbye to the War Within, officially this time, with the Midnight pre-expansion patch dropping next week. I'm gonna have a more complete thing of what's happening during the first week, but there are a few things to consider taking care of over the weekend. Legion remixers can finally earn the Cloudy with a Chance of Inferno's meta achievement. Now through the end of the remix, you just gotta log in and ta-da, it gets earned, and maybe you can enjoy a bit of the chaos as the remix comes to a vibrant and a violent close. The pre-patch is going to introduce a whole host of impactful changes like the level squish, the deprecation of Addon's ability to make some calculations, devour demon hunters, and a ton of adjustments to classes. Not only that, game features are opening up for housing next week. A number of often used decor are having their budget values lowered, meaning more room for stuff. Also, the level cap is being raised to 9, and the experience you've already gained beyond the current cap will apply. So some of you might jump a level or much more right when you log in after the patch. Night Elf and Blood Elf housing exteriors will also be accessible, so if you've been waiting to do a teardown for a proper build outside, that's just around the corner too. And endeavors are going to launch with this patch. I'm going to have a proper guide out in a few days, but these are basically the Traveler's Log, with special themes and a few twists, all centered around housing. According to the article posted, there might be 5 to choose or to otherwise buy stuff from if you're to search around. Here's the list right on screen. Reaching Beyond the Impossible is themed after the Drakthir, so along with general tasks, there's going to be Drakthir-specific activities giving extra progress to the endeavor and to get you to core. Moderate Mechanization is based on the Mechanomes. Consortium Consternation is based on the Ethereals. Smell Sensation is based on the Niffin. And finally, Friend of the Grummels is based on the Grummels, but more importantly, coffee-themed decor. So naturally, that's the one I'm gonna go for if I get the chance. A lot more info along with tips will come soon, so stay tuned. Guild halls are also coming, and they'll be coming relatively quickly, according to housing lead Jesse Kalanchik and reported by several news outlets. It's entirely expected after what certainly feels like a successful launch of housing early access, and while I might still be impatiently waiting to make my haul of shields, this is very good news. The details are pretty non-existent at the moment, but now that we have actual housing as a framework, we can assume some form of shared decorating may be possible. Probably it'll have some sort of permission system and special decor based on guild achievements. And as for where this place will be, I'm sure if we look around the neighborhood, we can see a few select locations that might have some assets as a holdover before we plant our guild flag. I, for one, am looking forward to pulling teeth when I announce to the guild that, yeah, we're going to work together and create a giant gun. As we learn more info, I'll let you know, but for now, if you have a list of demands or concerns, I want to hear them. Like, for example, if we can build things in the guild hall, is there going to be like this shared guild inventory, and how's that going to work? Because, oh well, check, what if something hits the fan and the guild disbands? Like, where does all that stuff go? Are there going to be guild dormitories, phased with respect to larger guilds, or are they going to be building big old apartment complexes inside? And of course, where are the perks, Blizz? What's going to force me to be in a guild just for the sake of a power-up, or are they going to avoid that entirely, making the feature literally useless? You gotta love the duality of cynicism there. And that wasn't the only big housing news from this week. The same interviews revealed upcoming features that I hope to see on like a roadmap sometime soon. Things like pets and mounts wandering around the house and the outdoors, import and export options, co-decorating and co-owning a home with couples, and basements and expansions to neighborhoods too. In some very welcome news, we're learning about a new Mythic Plus affix designed strictly for players at the lower band of skill. It's called Lindormi's Guidance, and it only appears in Mythic key levels 2 through 5. And here's what happens. Throughout the dungeon, certain enemies are going to have slightly reduced health, and they'll be marked somehow, creating an effective route throughout the dungeon. Just follow the mobs. It's mathed out to where if you happen to defeat only the marked mobs and nothing else, it'll fulfill the enemy count for that run. And also, deaths won't give a time penalty at those levels. So it sounds pretty neat so far, as a way to teach group leaders like tanks a basic route through a given dungeon, giving a sort of skill floor with which they can build confidence and shift their concentration to other things like studying mob behavior and cooldown management until they feel comfortable enough to take it to the next level. Or they can just live in that space and feel good slamming these, kind of tougher dungeons. I can see situations though where like some experienced player is going to take their fresh DPS alt into these low keys and they're going to try and be like, lol, don't take the new Blizzard route, right? Just follow me, guys. So this affix gives an opportunity for the rest of the party to side-eye that one player and be like, yeah, right, weirdo, we're just going to follow the signs and they're going to be just fine. It's changes like these that get me really excited for how WoW continues to evolve in different ways. The thing with Mythic Plus World, it's a bit of an evolution to invite a few more people into this existing space. Delves in the World Within, it was huge because it added a full feature for an underserved audience. Housing is an entirely new thing that birthed a new audience. Among those are some who didn't realize they'd be super into it. Midnight, it's going to be a big offering with lots of the familiar trappings, zone and endgame content, lots of dopamine hits, and actually more voice acting than I've heard in recent memory. The upcoming Prey feature, I'm going to say it's not quite as ambitious as Delves, but it's going to add a little bit to that plate. As for Delves, they've got good footing, and we'll see a few firsts, such as how Delves are going to transition into a new Delve system, and of course what lessons were learned from last time. Housing is more or less available with early access, and while we've been neck deep with its introduction over the past month or so, we haven't really gone through the actual motions of World of Warcraft's day-to-day plus housing. It might take a little bit for you to be on board with my headspace here, but I invite you to take a ride with me because I'm going to lead us to some hopefully interesting questions. Early access housing front-loaded tons of stuff, from the bones of the system to a ton of decor. It was spread over 20 years worth of the game. It's probably going to be the biggest single dump of decor with regards to the fundamentals, and by that I mean like walls and beams and essential shapes. But with the pre-patch and beyond, we're going to start seeing the real day-to-day of housing. Just from leveling, we're going to unlock and earn tons of quest rewards and achievements and dungeons and raids. It's not unlike us picking up transmog and pets and toys every now and then. Not because we're targeting them, but because we're just playing the game for the first time, or we're leveling alt and doing these weekly activities over and over again. Meanwhile, we're seeing the community mold and shape and find its voice. Gamers who might not have the chops for high-level keys or top-tier raids, they might also be housing fanatics capable of taking a box of scraps to build amazing creations that baffle the mind. Like those folks, they're the elites of the housing world, and they're carrying a voice when they happen to say, hey, they're running out of not just budget, which is going to improve a bit after the patch, but the 5,000 storage limit, they're reaching that too. During early access, one's got to try pretty hard to hit that limit. Those who are, they make up that part of the 1% of gamers. The thing is though, at this rate, normal folks may also start running into this issue by accident, again, from playing the game semi-normally. You know how sometimes your inventory fills up with old pets and you're already capped at 3 and it's not something anyone cares to buy off the auction house anymore. It's just kind of obnoxious having to manage that. Somewhere down that road, it's going to happen with the core too, where we get one piece too many and we got to make space. No one wants to be in a situation where there's a big launch just around the corner with all this new decor and all this exciting stuff, and folks are going to have to make choices on what to keep. Like, that really shouldn't be a thing. It's more or less a thought on Blizzard's mind to work towards increasing that upper limit as we go, but, that's an obvious but only one approach. Another change I'd like to eventually see is to use like the customize tool, and similar to how we can change walls and floors, I'd like to be able to change things like beams and platforms into all sorts of different styles, ones that we already have and ones in the future with no dye needed. It would probably mean something like all the existing beams will be merged into one basic item, and then it could be customized to our liking. Now, I'm obviously getting way ahead of myself, but it's one of those situations I can't help but see folks running into soon. Some already are, but I'm mostly thinking of the so-called casual builders who might hit this limit before they know it. New features like housing and even delves mean new scenarios and new problems and new solutions to discover. It's always fun talking about those things and listening to what you have to say. That's the show, and next on the list is the Around Azeroth highlight, and then This Week in Warcraft with what's happening in the patch, followed by the Easy Endeavor progression guide and Profession and add-on research and prepping the week's visit, all to be done by this coming Monday evening, and it's fine. Everything is fine. Seriously though, the the support that y'all been giving in the comments and streams has been absolutely amazing. I'm grateful for everyone's patience and putting up with me thinking out loud as I get all of this under control. Next week, we got another round of fun visits set up while we wait for realms to go up here in the US, along with the Twitch drop promotion for our very first decor item. It's very cute, nice touch. So let's give a massive thanks to the live audience, to the awesome patrons, and to you, viewer. You made it to the end. You fed the algorithm. Please like this video, subscribe for more WoW coverage, catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.